active, we're gonna increase our crit rate, and boom, 8,000 damage. Today we're gonna be doing a showcase on the new 5-star ice unit named YANQING, and he is a single target damage nuking beast, guys. I'm super excited to do this showcase, guys. He's one of my favorite units in the game right now currently, and he's also available in the beginner banner as well, so you have a chance to pull him, and he'll also be in the standard banner pull. So let's just jump right into it. Also, guys, make sure you guys subscribe and like the video if you like the video. So first and foremost, guys, he is level 50 right now. The light cone we are using right now is called the Hunt. Like I said earlier, he is a single target damage dealing unit. So this light cone specifically will benefit him a lot because this light cone increases their damage by 8% as long as they're hitting the same target, and it stacks up to 5 times. So if you're going against a boss and you just keep hitting this thing over and over again, you get a pretty big multiplier from this. And this is a 4-star light cone, guys. I'm telling you, the light cones in these games are really strong, guys. A lot of 3-star light cones are like 4 stars, and a lot of 4-star light cones are like 5 stars. So imagine how strong the 5-star light cones are. And for the traces, guys, we have mostly set up at 4, and we all know that these traces will basically just give you a flat stat increase on all your moves, and they can potentially go even higher, right? So right now this is all we got for the early game showcase of YANQING. So the 3 unique abilities that you can get from his traces, guys, the first one is called Frozen Boon. What this does is when YANQING attacks, deals additional ice damage equal to 30% of YANQING's attack to targets with ice weakness. So that's really good. It's a nice damage boost overall, but they have to have ice weakness, so not bad. And then we have Steep Steel, where when a crit hit is triggered, increases speed by 10% for 2 turns, guys. I can't stress this enough, guys. In turn-based games, speed most of the time is king, and there I feel like it's no different in this game, because the more speed you have, the more turns you'll have and more damage or supporting that your characters will do. So it's really good. He doesn't scale off speed, but just having speed is good, so he can keep taking turns over and over again. I mean, you do have to crit, but in his kit, he gets a bunch of crit, guys, and we'll go over that in a little bit. And the very last one we have is Head Held High. What this does is when Empathetic Sword Link is active, effect resistance increases by 20%. So what this means is any debuffs that the enemy is trying to put on you, you have a resistance of 20% to those effects. So it'll be less likely for you to get those, but you have to have Empathetic Sword Link on. Now, Empathetic Sword Links is going to be one of the abilities that's going to be revolving around his kit. So let's just jump right into it so I can show you guys a little bit more. Okay, and for his Empathetic Sword ability, it's going to be actually activated through his E ability, which is going to cost a skill point, guys. As you can see right here, when he does do this, he will deal ice damage to a single enemy, and he will activate Empathetic Sword Link. Now, it has a really cool animation too. When you switch to it, he has like these very glimmer blue stardust looking kind of things and doves flying around him. Looks beautiful, right? And also the damage on his E has a pretty high multiplier of 143. And basically what Empathetic Sword does, guys, is it increases his crit and his crit damage, which is really good because it all flows really well with his kit. We're gonna go ahead and use it here on an enemy, and we're gonna take off ×2 speed so you guys can see the full glory of this animation. So let's go ahead and use this. Multiple hits, one of those crit, and that guy's dead. Really good damage, as you guys saw there. So now, as you guys can see, his sword is lit up, right? That means that his passive is also active. And if you guys didn't know, when characters' passives are active, another way you can see is right here. If you guys can follow my cursor on the YANQING's portrait under, as long as you guys can see that their passive is going to be in this small circle, not the big circle, not the ultimate bubble. It's going to be the slight circle, and when it's glowing and then you have like this white thing of rotating around it, that means it's active. So that is his passive, guys. And now for his passive, guys, is when Empathetic Sword is activated, like I said, it increases his crit and his crit damage. And when he attacks now, while he has this buff on, he has a 53% chance of doing a follow-up attack of ice damage equal to YANQING's attack. And it also has a 65% chance of freezing the enemy, and we all know freeze is really good because it basically stops them from taking a turn. Now once they're frozen, it will also leave an ice damage over time debuff on them, so when they're done taking their turn, they will take some slight damage as well. Now, one thing to keep in mind, guys, is if YANQING does get attacked while he has the empathetic sword link on, his effect will disappear. But one of the good things about having empathetic sword link on, when he has this active, it makes him actually be less likely of getting attacked by the enemy. So this is really, really good for you to have the empathetic sword link on buff as long as you can. So now we have raised crit and crit damage, but also now that we have the sword link active, we can do the follow-up attack. And the good thing is you can proc it with either your E ability or your Q ability. So we all know the Q ability, guys, is the basic attack where he's just going to be doing ice damage to a single target enemy, and that's about all it does. But now that you have this the sword link active, we're going to see if we can do a follow-up attack with it. So let's see how this animation looks, and then we'll see if we can follow up with our passive. There's the attack, there's the passive, it actually procced it, and even more damage. Now, if he wouldn't have died, guys, he would have actually had a chance of getting frozen as well. So remember that, guys. This unit is really, really beastie and just does a bunch of damage overall, guys. I really, really like this unit. Okay, and just to do his full damage nuking combo, guys, you're gonna want to proc his E before you do his ultimate. Now, once you get his ultimate, guys, so what his ultimate does, guys, is a huge single target damage dealing move. And if he has his empathetic sword link active, it'll actually increase his crit damage that he's going to be doing. That's really important for you to have his sword link active for you to do it. So if you don't have it active, right, guys, one way of knowing if you don't have it active, if his sword is not glowing right here. So we're going to go ahead and activate his ultimate here. And we're going to do our damage to him here. So let's go ahead and proc that. We do have everything active. We're going to get the crit rate and crit damage boost, and we're going to get the passive done. And there you have it, guys. It's going to be a lot of damage that he's going to be putting out and stuff. So it's really, really good. Also, his when you activate his ultimate, it further increases his crit rate and crit damage. Okay, guys, I'm actually going to show you one more time here because that enemy unit that we did our ultimate on had a huge barrier on, so you guys couldn't see the real damage of it. So we're going to do this here. We're also going to have Bronya's ultimate backing us up so we can have even more damage. So we have everything active, guys, and we can hopefully do the combo that I would like to do. So we're going to do our ultimate and follow up with our passive as well to do even more damage. So that's going to be really good. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to pop our ultimate. We already have the sword link active. We're going to increase our crit rate, and boom, 8,000 damage, guys. 8,000 damage. That was huge. He didn't even get to get his passive off. So if he got his passive off, it would have been even more damage. And on top of that, even if they didn't die, he would have had a chance to freezing them. Now this unit does a lot of damage, but he is a glass cannon unit, guys. So you guys are gonna want to be careful with that. He has the 4-piece Musketeer of Wild Wheat, where the 2-piece gives you an increased attack by 10%, and the 4-piece gives you speed boost by 6% and basic attack damage by 10% more. And then you can also get another 2-piece bonus. So in overall, you can have 6 pieces of gear on. And he has the 2-piece bonus on it where it increases the wearer's attack by 12% and increases another 12% as long as the wearer's speed is over 120 or higher. But as you guys can see, he already has that covered because he has the plus 13 from the gear, and his base speed of YANQING is 109, which is pretty nice. So he's going to be getting that extra 12% damage. So overall, he's going to be getting 24% damage. Okay, and for YANQING's Eidolons, which is equivalent to constellations in Genshin Impact, or when you get duplicates of a character and you feed it into him, this is what he'll get these effects. So his first Eidolon, which I'm going to refer to as E1, is called Clean Blade. So what this does is when an enemy is frozen, he's going to deal ice damage equivalent to 100% of his attack, and he's going to also remove the frozen buff effect on the target once he does that. But it's crazy because he's just going to do a crazy amount of damage when the unit is frozen, and he already has that in his kit. So he can do this on his own, or he can be on a frozen team and just practice all the time, because there is no turn cooldown on this, as I don't see that on here. So this is really, really good. And then on his E2, guys, it's called No Mind. And when he has empathetic sword link active, his energy regeneration rate is increased by 12%. So he's going to be able to get his ultimate even faster because of the energy regeneration rate that he has, that he's boosting himself with, which is another great Eidolon for him. Then on his E3, he just boosts his abilities up. Then on his E4, guys, it's called Impaling Rim, which basically, as long as his HP is over 80%, YANQING's ice resistance penetration is increased by 20%, meaning he's just going to be penetrating through the enemy's ice defense or elemental resistances, and is going to cut through it by 20%, which is even more damage, guys. It's just a shred basically. Then on his E5 is just his abilities getting boosted for more damage, and then on his E6, guys, it's called clean footwork. And it says here, if an enemy is defeated while YANQING is receiving buffs from his ultimate, the duration said buffs increases by 1 turn. So his crit rate that he gets boosted by 1 turn, and his crit damage will have an extra turn, and it'll roll over on his next turn, as long as he defeats the enemy. And his ultimate already gives him those buffs, which is really good. So he's just gonna extend that buff. And shout out to the boy Tomatsu. This is his YANQING that I'm able to showcase. Also, for his technique, when you use it before going into a battle, it increases his damage done on the beginning of his next turn by 30% for 3 turns to targets whose current HP is equal or higher than 40% of YANQING's max HP. Now, YANQING is a strong single target nuking DPS, guys, that does a bunch of damage. And he also buffs himself up, and also has a CC to go along with it, and things that can help him be used on a specific niche team, which is the freeze team. But honestly, he already can fit in any team because of just the sheer amount of damage that he does. So YANQING is definitely no joke and nothing to be played around with, because his damage is insane. Love his animations, love this character, and I think he's great. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about YANQING, and I'll see you guys in the next one. It's your boy Jada. I'm out. Peace.